image and then create instance out of that. Okay, let's start. So what we are going, let me share my screen, and what we are going to see today is to okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to see today EC2 Bootstrap or user data, template, snapshot, and AMI creation. All these three, all these four we are going to see today. Okay, so to do that, let me go ahead to our EC2 dashboard. Okay, to our EC2 dashboard. This EC2 dashboard will discuss about the user data, right? So you had seen while creating the EC2 instance, we had options of advanced settings, right? So let me go ahead, and what is this? First, let me first discuss about EC2 Bootstrap and what is the user data. Okay, you may get questions like, during the EC2 instance launch, can we install any software or application in the server during the EC2 instance launch, whether we can install any software or applications? The answer is yes, we can do that. How? By setting of the user data or by running a script under the user data section, okay, or by using the EC2 Bootstrap script. That's called EC2 Bootstrap script. Okay, by using the script. So how you'll use that? Let me show you. Just click on the launch instance, select any image. Okay, I'm not going to show you anything here. You already familiar with this. Okay, launch instance G2 micro. I'm not going to touch anything here. Everything is default. However, if you go down, we have a section is called advanced details. Okay, advanced details. In advanced details sections, we can see here we have one user data section. In the user data sections, we have two options available here, as text and as file. So whatever the script you want to execute, you have to put it here in this box. So during the launch itself, it will be executed and the software will be installed. Also, what you can do, you can create a file, put all the script there, shell script or Unix shell script, put it there, select the file, and then launch it. The script will be executed during the launch. But let me show you how we can add the text file here. Okay, so what script I have already prepared a script for that. So let me just show you. I'm going to add this particular part of the script into the user data sections. Okay, so what is this script? Let me just explain you. Simply, it is being used the bus shell. If most of the guys, I think, familiar with the shell script. If not, so this is called as a shell interpreter or cbang line. It's called in Unix shell scripting, okay, or Linux shell scripting. So that means this interpreter is going to use the bus shell. Whatever commands or whatever code is given below, it will be executed under this shell interpreter. Okay, so what I have used to update the environment and then update the OS, and then I'm installing the HTTPD server, that means the Apache server, and then using the command to start the server after installation and making sure the server is always on. That means even if you reboot the system, the server will be running, and changing the directory to HTML folder, HTML directory, cd change directory to this folder, and then I don't need this part. Okay, remove it. What I'm doing it here, I'm just simply doing echo statement here, echo HTML and index.html. Okay, what I'm doing here, just everything I'm just redirecting to the index.html and it will be created. All this data will be created in the index.html file. Okay, so let me just remove this part, add some statement h2 tag here. Fine. So what are the scripts I want to execute during the server creation or server launch? It is given everything here, right? Now let me go ahead and add storage. Let's everything default. Add tag, just give a name, server name bootstrap demo. That's fine. Security group, select a security group. You know how what is the security group and how to create it and how to provide the firewall access, right? You know already. I'm not going to explain everything again. Okay, so now go. If you have any doubt, you can ask anytime. Okay, so I'm going to use the existing security, this lamp sg, which is having the port 80 firewall, port 22 firewall and MySQL port 3306 firewall. Though it is not required, as it is still there, I'm just using it. Okay, but mostly I'm targeting these two ports, 22 and 80. Okay, review, launch, use the key, acknowledge it, launch instances. Guys, you have to do practice. Okay, those who have not practiced, do practice or else you'll forget it. Now go ahead and view
Sanjay
instance.
ji, can you start a recording?
Yeah, it is already started. Yeah,
Okay.
so if you see here, few of my servers running. Let's go to the instance type here. Okay, let me remove this one, snapshot demo. Sorry, just terminate this instance, I don't need it. Okay, so our server, this bootstrap demo, is now running. Okay, just refresh it, just running. Okay, so before that, guys, there is some power backup issues at my home. Okay, in case if there is a power failure, my network will, my Wi-Fi connection will be immediately disconnected. So don't worry, be there in the room, meeting room. I'll switch back to my other network which is having the current. Okay, so it will just 1 minute, within 1 minute the network will switch. So don't get out from the meeting room, be there. Okay, just an info in case the power goes away. Okay, fine. So if I go ahead and check this bootstrap demo, just copy this public IP. I started the server, copy the public IP here, go ahead and just paste it here. Okay, just go ahead and paste it here. See, we did not install any software manually. We did not deploy our application manually. What we did, everything was provided in the user data section during the software creation, during the instance creation. It is installed the Apache web server, the software, and then it is deployed our application. It is deployed our website. Okay, everything now you can see our website is running. So we did not normally what we did, what we used to do, we used to create the server, log in it manually, install the software, and then copy the package, copy, deploy the instances, and then start it. But this time I showed you how you add it everything in the user data section, and you can automatically start the server, start the application installations and deployment. Right? Do you have any questions so far? You understood clearly what is the EC2 Bootstrap? You definitely may get questions if you are going to attend any AWS AWS interviews. Okay, definitely will get questions on that. So be careful and remember that time that we have options to use to set up all these things during the installations. Okay, one more thing. So uh, what am I going to do? I hope there is no doubt or nothing. That's why no, you're not asking. That's fine. Let me go ahead and discuss on the template creation. Go ahead and discuss on the template creation. So you understood about this user data and EC2 Bootstrap. Okay. So what is a template? What is a launch template in the EC2 instances? So if you go to the EC2 instance sections, now let me remove and let me terminate the EC2 Bootstrap instance. This is no more required. Okay, we have done our demo. Let me just terminate this one. Okay, so what is the launch template? If you go here and check, we have one option in the instance sections. It's called launch templates. So what is this launch template and what will be the beneficial of using it? Okay, so before that let me show you one more thing. When we create any instances, right, when we create any instances here, sorry, go to the instance sections. So here in the instance sections, if you in the drop down list, right, if you see here, we have options create instance or launch instance from a template. Okay, so what is a template first? A template is nothing but a recipe or instructions provided in a template. Instructions provided what needs to be run during the server creations, right? So in the template we are going to set up, right? Whenever we launch an instance, what we have to select first? We have to select the, if you remember, when we launch instance, the first option is to select the AMI, the machine image, right? Amazon machine image, and then we have to select the instance type like T2 micro or T2 medium or whatever it is. Then some storage, then security groups, then tags, lots of things there, and then we have to at last select the launch instance button and it will be created. So lots of things we have to do while creating the instances. But in the template, what we are going to, the same things, we are going to pre-add everything there. We have to just give the instructions in the template and create a template. Next time, whenever we create any instance, the instance will be created out of the template which we have created. We don't have to manually set up everything again. Okay, so let me go ahead and create a template, and also the template can be versioned. So any template, any number of template we create, or any template we any number of times we modify, for each modifications it will create a new version. It will create a new version. Okay, let's go ahead to the launch template. Okay, and in this sections create launch template. As we don't have any template, it gives launch template, and here you have to provide the template name, launch template name. Just give a name, and remember that launch template you can give either server specific, infrastructure specific, or server specific based on your requirement project, and Another one is your project specific. Suppose you are working in a project called XYZ or ABC. ABC. Suppose you are working for uh, banking domain. Okay, banking. ABC banking. The project name is ABC banking. What will do? Give a template name ABC banking. So any servers, any machines will be created out of this ABC banking template. Okay. Now give a version, template version description. This ABC banking, I can give this version, suppose, is related for development. This is a dev server version. I can give 1.0 dev server. Okay, I'm not adding any auto scaling because we have not covered the auto scaling part, so I'm not adding anything. Just give a template tag, give a name to the template. Sorry, this is the key. So you have to give the template ID and give a template ID name here, but I don't need this template tag to be given, let it be there. Okay, or else you can just give a name here, and just give a value like ABC dev server, ABC dev server name. Done. Now here is, this is the details about the template name and all, right? Here is the main point. Now the first step, if you remember, launching an instance, we have to select the image. Okay, so let me select the image here. If I go quick start and suppose I want to use Amazon Linux, select Amazon Linux here and select what AMI Amazon machine image you want to choose. Select it here. So I'll choose this free tier. Okay, select the free tier one. Now the kernel, the architecture, the processor 86, select everything whatever you want. Instance type, what type of instance do you need? The next page will come instance type, right? So you have to select the instance type. Suppose I'll go and select with T2 micro and just key pair. Select a key pair to login. Select a key pair. This is the template will be having everything. And network, suppose I'll keep everything default, but the security group, let me select the LAMP SG security group I selected. Storage volume, everything is default 8 GB and all. Okay, if you want to add new volume, you can still add it in the template. Okay, resource tag, fine. In the advanced detail, it will having all the network DNS name, IP address and all these details, right? So let it, everything is default. Now in the user data sections, we can still copy paste the things whatever you want to be executed as part of the server creation, right? We can put it here. Now sorry, just put it here. Copy for next use. Okay, now we can use just create. So all the details whatever we need in the template should be the instructions, we have provided everything here. Now go ahead and create launch template. It will be quickly created. Okay, created. Now just go ahead, view the launch template. Okay, just wait, it will be get completed. Just refresh this page. Okay, so if you see here, the template is having a version, is called version 1. Default version is 1, latest version also 1. Okay, so it is created. Now this is the template ID. If you select it here, it will give all the details about the template, what are the things being added in the template. Fine. Now how we can use this template to create the EC2 instances. So let's go ahead and here select, instead of launch instances, we'll go ahead and select the launch instance from a template. Okay, select it, and here select the ABC banking, the project. Okay, select it, and now it will give us the which version of template do you want. So as we have only one version, that is the dev server 1.0, we can select it. Okay, so rest of the things will be auto populated from the template. We are not going to check it anything here. Okay, everything is selected here. Now let's go ahead and launch template. So quick, right? We simply created an instance out of a template, out of the template. Okay, now if I go ahead and check the instances here, so our instance will be creating now. See, it is in pending status. Let's go ahead and refresh the page. So it is now running. The template is now running, right? Sorry, the server is now running. So we created a template from the server. Let's go ahead, and if I go to this server, newly created server, okay, this server is created out of the template, right? Copy this one, and we had given in the user data sections also in the template. Hit enter. What it says, it's not able to. Okay, let's the server be refreshed. Okay, now you can see here the server is having all this software installed and the application is deployed, but we created the instances as part of the template. We created a server as part of the template creation, right? We created a template and created a server which is a dev server. Okay, now let's modify the template under the same project and create a different version. Okay, we'll create a different, in the real time this is how we work. Okay, we have to create templates either project specific or any server specific or any team specific. You have to create and launch the instances out of that. Now suppose in ABC banking we got these applications to be added into the production environment, and we need some changes to that, and there is a new requirement comes and we have to update the server. We need a server with a different configurations. So what we need, we can go ahead and update the template or modify the template. Okay, so what I'll do, I can select it here.
One quick, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, please.
Uh, just out of curiosity, let's say I create an instance out of a template,
Okay.
and it was required to destroy that instance and relaunch it from the template. So when I relaunch from the template, my internal IP will change, right? Even though if, let's say I will keep a static IP for external domain, my internal IP will change. So how do I manage that with the load balancer? Is it a way that you got my point, right?
Yeah. So I got exactly your point. Okay, so whatever the templates we are going to use, right? Every time we create new instance or recreate any instances out of the same template, it will create a new server with a different IP address, with a different IP addresses. Okay, if you want to add your static IP, if you want to add your static IP, then you have to use your elastic IP addresses there. You have to use your
Yeah, this
elastic.
IP address we can have it for the external IP, right? Let's say the internal IP we cannot define an elastic IP, right?
The
For
internal
the
IP means the private IP you're talking about.
private IP, yeah.
Yeah, the private IPs will be always different. It will be always different.
Correct. So
Yeah.
let's say I have a load balancer which will be balancing the traffic within the private network, like within the EC2, not
Yes.
from the external. So in that case, what is the best strategy to have the load balancer set? Something is that something possible that I do not need to change anything in the load balancer when I will be launching from a template by destroying the existing one. My
No.
load
See,
balancer will
don't add the load balancer thing into the template, because we are not going to change anything into the load balancer in the template itself. Here everything we are creating the instructions for the server, for the machine. Okay, what are the server we are going to create? But after creation, if you are talking about the load balancer, right, if you are talking about the load balancer, you have to add that into the load balancer template. That is a different template for load balancing. You can say, if that load balancing class, right, we have a target group. That is a different topic, how we add that one into the target group of the load balancer. So that things we'll discuss, Sunil, during our load balancing class. Okay, how we'll add.
yeah,
No, I
then
think
that
no,
we will see how.
Yeah.
no, Ranjit. Actually, his question was more on towards the change in the IP address, right? So basically, what happens is your public IP will remain the same, right? Because you have the, I mean, you have specific, static IP, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, the internal IP, when you recreate the instance, naturally the private IP is going to change. And
Yes.
like example, you are in load balancer, you will configure saying that, okay, any request that comes to the load balancer, redirect it to the instance, isn't it?
Exactly.
So do you have to reconfigure the load balancer or any, let's say you have, I don't know, maybe in the web server and all those things, right? You have to
Yes.
reconfigure the instance IP so that it points and, because every time you create an instance,
Uh-huh.
it changes the private IP, isn't it?
Exactly. So what happens
So
in
how do
that?
you handle that? I mean, it's
Yeah. So how we'll handle that? We'll handle everything in the target groups. That I'll show you how we can add it. So the thing is, right, whenever we
okay.
create IP addresses, we'll create by using the instance ID. We'll not use the private IP to add into the load balancing group. Instead, what we'll use the instance ID to be created, will be added. Again, if you when you're going
Okay.
to use the load balancer DNS, right, load balancer domain name, so it, the number of associations you'll do, everything will be done using the target groups. You don't have to change anything in the launch template. Don't get merge this instance launch template with load balancing launch template. That is totally different. There is no point of
Okay.
combining
So
load balancing here. Okay, there is nothing we cannot add launch balancing, load balancer here. So we'll see these topics in the load balancing template when we work on that.
so basically, you're saying that we don't add the private IP address anywhere else. It's more of instance ID or maybe the
It
the
will be
target group you mentioned. Okay.
yes, the target group, whatever the target group you'll mention, everything based on that the load balancer will work. Based on that the
Okay.
load
Okay.
balancer
So
will
basically,
work.
the solution is more that you never use something which changes than which is static, right? I mean, so that
Exactly,
you
exactly.
will know
So
which
we have to
target group
always
it or.
use the static one, right? Because dynamic every time it will change, and if you use it, the load balancer will break. It will not work.
Okay. Okay. And the other question I had is that let's say you have a running instance in production,
Mm-hmm.
right? And let's say you want to add something in your instance,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and basically it's like an updation, right? I mean, because if you recreate whatever is there in the instance, that will all get recreated again, right? Or how is it?
Exactly, exactly. So that is what we'll see. Everything whatever you are asking is the advanced questions and all, so people will not understand
Oh,
if I
okay.
just tell. So that's what we have covered everything, and we are going to learn today itself, that is the snapshot and image creation. And in the snapshot I'll
Okay.
explain whatever you just asked, right, how we'll upgrade it and how we'll add it. So we'll using the snapshot we'll see.
Okay.
Okay, that time will, so let complete everything, then we'll discuss whatever the questions we have, then we'll discuss, and then we'll correlate with the questions with each topic. That will be beneficial for everyone, I think, right?
Yeah, maybe this use case, this question that we have right now, right? We
Yes,
can have this use case demoed in the load balancer topic.
yes, exactly. So the same use cases we'll do in our load balancer topic, so it will be easily understandable for everyone, because they will be understand what is load balancer, how it works, then we'll add these use cases to there. That's good, Sunil. Yeah,
Okay.
we can add there. Okay, so now let me just modify. Okay, so we have created instances out of this template, right? So this is the basic one. I think everyone clear on this. Now let me modify this instance, sorry, this template. Okay, let me modify this template. How will do it? Select it, modify the template. Okay, the template name cannot be modified, it will be there. Only to modify the rest of the things we can modify. Okay, template name is ABC banking. So template description, suppose I'll give this as a prod server 1.4 version. Okay, and source template, anything available template we want to source, you can source it, or I don't need it. So the rest of the things I'm not going to change anything. Okay, obviously if I'm going to change for productions, so we have to change the instance type or the AMI, because here I'm using the free tier. Okay, for production obviously you don't have to use free tier, different versions. Okay, but I gave only name, but let's all the other things be free tier. I'm not going to change it because I have to pay if I use beyond the free tier. Okay, so instance type, suppose here instead of T2 micro, my production suppose is having T2 medium or T2 large. I not go for more, it will be charged more. Let's having T2 medium. Okay, everything else are good. So fine, so let's having, but in the advanced detail section let me add the script here, and to add one more line here, I can just in the production server I can use as production server. Okay, done, all good. Now let's go ahead and create template. The template name is same, the template ID is same, but I created a different version. The version is 2. Okay, if you see the latest version is 2, default version is 1. Now let's go ahead, and if you want to check it here about the template, you can select version 2, it will give T2 medium and all the details it will give immediately. Okay, now that's fine. Now let's go ahead and quickly create one more server, launch instance from template, but this time I'm going to choose the same template. See how you do, there can be hundreds of versions of one template. Okay, that is the way in the real time how we work in the company, right? We have to create single template with the different versions, and here I'll select a version. Suppose I'll select, see it will have now two versions. Now suppose I want to create a server for production, right? So I'll select the prod server 1.4. As soon as I select it, it will change, see, to T2 medium, one volume of 8 GB. Simply click on the select the version, click on the launch instance. So it will create the instance type will be T2 medium. Okay, let's refresh this one. The server is in pending status. Okay. See, it says T2 medium, right? And this is for production server. Let it fully initialized. Let's get the IP address. Okay, so it's still not completed. Okay, still initializing. Okay, now you can see here, this is the dev server and this is the production server, but we have only one template. But we created two different servers. We have one template, but we created two different servers out of two different versions. Okay, similarly you need any n number of versions. You can modify the template as per the project requirement, and you can use the instance template. Don't combine with any other template. This is your launch instance template. Okay, and you can create an n number of instances. Okay, you can create n number of instances out of this template. Now you are clear about this launch template as part of the compute. Any doubt with the template section? And I don't need this production server to be on, or else it will charge me. Okay, let me just delete these servers. This server. Okay, now maybe our load balancing section we can cover it tomorrow. Okay, load balancing and auto scaling, so that you will we can do one of the use cases there, whatever we had discussed today, right? Creating the template, and we'll see if we create and modified the instances, how the IP address and load balancer gets work. Okay, that is totally different template for load balancing. We'll see how that load balancing template can be created and how we can use the instances to be added there. Okay, that we'll see in our upcoming classes. Maybe tomorrow we'll see that one. Fine. So I have successfully terminated these two instances. Now we are clear with EC2 instances, template, and Bootstrap. Next, let's discuss about Snapshot. Before that, let me ask you a question. Hope everyone can answer if can understand clearly. Okay, so if I go my instances here, so how many instances are running here? Sorry, how many instances are there? It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 terminated, 1 stop. So basically, how many volumes I should have out of these 7 instances? I have 7 instances. How many volumes I should have now? 1 stopped.
The minimum 7 volume will be there.
6 terminated.
Okay, all terminated, right? Oh, terminated, okay. So it depends on the launch type, what we have selected, whether we want to keep that volume or we want to delete it.
Okay.
So maybe 1 as of now.
Yes. So that's a good tricky question, and that's the good answer actually provided by Sunil. So he gave all these answers correctly, and that's the one, guys. It's based on the configurations you have done. First thing, okay, if you have selected terminate the volume or delete the volume when we terminate the instance, then the volume will be terminated. That means we have 7 instances, but 6 out of 7 are terminated. If we have set delete on termination, then the volume also would have deleted now. But we have only stopped one server is stopped. That means the volume with stopped server will be attached, will be in use. Okay, so if I go to the volume section, we'll have only one volumes available now. The other 6 will be deleted. But out of these 6, if you have select the option called on termination don't delete the volume, then that volume will be available. So that when we give actually how what time we should select that option, and why should we select that option. Don't terminate the volume, don't delete the volume on server deletion. Why we should select that option, and on which server normally it should be selected.
Maybe sometimes like when we need the root volume where we see some file which is required at a later point in time, maybe logs or maybe any transaction data.
Exactly.
So
See,
just want to keep it for some time.
yeah. So whenever what happens actually, the production rule is we never delete a volume as part of the server deletion. What we do, we delete the server, okay, but we keep the volume for few days or few months for in case any data we need for our future reference. Okay, what cases you will delete the volume, and when you can delete the volume, when you are good to delete the volume, when you already have taken the backup of your data, the backup of your data. So once you take backup of your data or backup of your volume, then you can good to delete your volume, because your volume backup is still there. In case you need any data, you can get it from the backup. In that cases, that scenario, you can delete the volume. The same thing we can do, take the backup by using the snapshot. So in productions, we have a concept is called snapshot. Point in time recovery is, we have one, right? Point in time recovery. How the point in time recovery happens? Every time in production, whoever has worked in production environment, they would know all this. Every uh, hours or some few hours interval, we would take the production volume snapshot, so that in case any server disaster happen, we'll have a backup of or have a snapshot available to recover the data out of the snapshot. Okay, so today we'll see how we can take the snapshot from a volume and use that snapshot to create the instance. Okay, now let's go ahead. We have, see, as 7 instances. If I go to the volume, right, if I go to the volume here, I have only one volume available and of 20 GB, right? But if I go to the snapshot, I will not have any snapshot. Okay, so the previous snapshot is available. Fine, the previous snapshot is available. Now let me delete this snapshot. Unnecessary, it will be. This snapshot also being chargeable, guys. Don't create the snapshot and keep, because see how it is linked and how it is chargeable. We are being charged as per the storage we consume, as per the storage we consume, right? If you see here, when we create volume, the volume size, suppose 8 GB, 10 GB, 50 GB, 100 GB, same snapshot we create, and the snapshot is having the entire volume backup, suppose 8 GB, and we are again paying for 8 GB, right? So if you keep this snapshot also, you have to pay for that. Okay, don't get confused and don't keep it after you do practice. just remove it. Okay, I'll simply go ahead and delete the snapshot. So we'll create a new and fresh one. Okay, what it says, the snapshot is currently in use by AMI, this one. That means we have already one AMI which is being used. So what we have to do, first we have to delete that AMI. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete the user defined AMI which we had created, in this account it was created. Let me just delete this AMI. Okay, let me delete this AMI first. So what we have to do, we cannot directly delete the AMI, we can simply deregister the AMI first, then we can delete it. Okay, so once we deregister, it should be gone. See, it is gone. So we no need to delete it. Once you deregister, it will automatically go. Now if I go to the snapshot, okay, select it, action, now delete snapshot. Okay, delete snapshot, successfully deleted. Fine. Now if I go to the snapshot, let's go ahead and create a fresh snapshot. Okay, before that you should have the volume, from which volume you want the snapshot to be taken. Okay, for that let me first create a volume. Okay, let me first, I already have a volume, but that volume does not have anything. Okay, that's why I'm not going to use that volume to take the snapshot. So let me go ahead and create a new instance from our production template. Okay, from our production template, and take the backup or snapshot of the production server. Okay, so let's go ahead, select the version name is 2, production server, simply launch instance. Okay, so go ahead and check the instances here. So it is just getting ready. Okay, getting created. Just wait for a few seconds. Okay, let it be ready. So it is running now, but still initializing the server. We just grab the IP addresses. Okay, public IP, go here, paste it here. Still it is not initialized. Okay, let's okay, now what happened, our server is ready. Okay, our server is ready. So we'll have also a volume created. Now we'll have two volumes. One volume is part of this stopped server, another is part of this running server, right? If I go to the volume, go to this volume, we'll have now 8 GB. This is what the volume for production server, and this is what both are in use. And if you want to see as which service is attached, we can see here this Ansible Terraform, it is attached to this server, but I want to take this, the snapshot of this volume, select this volume. Okay, select this volume, action, create snapshot, okay, snapshot, give a name to the snapshot, and the snapshot should be meaningful. Okay, if you give a snapshot, because anyone can in your team read the name of a snapshot, can understand what is being the snapshot. Suppose this is a production server Apache server. Okay, I can give prod Apache server. Okay, and I can give a version to that, suppose 1.4. Good. Now give a tag if you want, just give a name, Apache prod server. Okay, now create snapshot. Create snapshot. So it says successfully created snapshot from the volume. And if you see here, if I go to the previous, like the default volume, whatever the previous volume is created, right? We have, this is the old previous volume, right? So if you go here, it will have a snapshot attached. Okay, and okay, so the snapshot, I can show it here itself. The snapshot, if you see, both the snapshot is having the number is CA4, like all the snapshot ID. This snapshot ID, if you say, and this snapshot actually are the default snapshot of AWS, is part of the image or volume instance creation. We use the default snapshot provided by the AWS. Now we have created our own snapshot. This snapshot is CA4. Now if I go to our own snapshot, this is snapshot created by this account owner. Okay, so the snapshot status is pending, just wait for that. So it has a snapshot ID of 06D and description is given production Apache server. Okay, the snapshot created, just wait for a few seconds, let it snapshot completed, then we'll start creating our volume out of the snapshot, or we'll start creating the image out of the snapshot. Now we take the snapshot. Okay, let it complete, then what? Okay, start snapshot completed. Now what we can do, we can simply go ahead and delete the instances. This production server, if I delete this production server, we don't have to worry about that, because we already have a snapshot taken or backup taken from the volume, and the volume will be also now deleted. This volume will also, the second volume, this 8 GB also will be deleted now. Don't worry, because we have already a snapshot or backup is taken. Okay, now let's go ahead and create one AMI out of the snapshot. Okay, let's go ahead and create AMI out of the snapshot. So how we'll create it? Select the snapshot action, create AMI from the snapshot. Okay, create AMI or create image from the snapshot. Give the image name, and that should be meaningful image, and you can store that image in your registry, in your vault, or in your repository, wherever you want, in your bucket, and you can get it, the image from there, and use it for instance creations if you are doing any automations, right? You can use that way. So just give a good name to that, like I will give same thing, prod Apache server 1.4. okay, so let's keep the same descriptions here. Prod Apache server application, so the ABC project, right? This is for ABC banking. Project name, give the project name, whatever it is. Architecture, use 86 architecture. Okay, so this is the image. This is again, so we are going to create the image template. Now we saw the instance template, right? We created the instance template. Now we are creating the image. Now what is the image? What is the AMI? What is the Amazon machine image? This is nothing but a template which is having all the informations related to your system, right? The image will have the system informations like your snapshot, your kernel details, your architecture. Okay, everything will be added into the part of the image. So you can use that image to create a machine. So this is also template and is having all the instructions, but this is a image template. This is the image template. Okay, now architecture, hardware I'm using default one, I'm not changing anything else. Okay, let's everything is default. Now go ahead and create image. Okay, create image, and the image whatever is created out of this snap id, out of this our own snap id. So if I go ahead and to the image section, we'll have our own image now, own, and the image name is my name is prod apache server 1.4 source, this one. Okay, and if I see here, and it is being used the snapshot, id block device. Okay, what is the snapshot id? My id, my name, it is not giving this. Okay, here is the snapshot id. So block device it is being used, this is the snapshot id. Okay, this is the snapshot id is being used to create the image. Now we created our own image, right? So what we'll do, let's go ahead and create a server from our own image, right? So if I go ahead, I deleted our production server. Okay, now how quickly I'll get the production server back? Simple, I just go ahead, the same production server, I'll get it back. Okay, now go ahead, launch instance from it, sorry, not template, because I'm not going to use the template, I'm going to use our image this time. Okay, launch template, and here we don't have to use the predefined template or AWS template. What we are going to use, I'm going to use our own template, production template. See, if I go our AMI owned by me, I can use prod hyphen apache server 1.4. This is the server, this is the image what we created now. Okay, same image also you can use in your account to create. If I share this image with you, you can create a production server there itself. Okay, so let's go ahead and select it. Let's everything same. I'm not going to add change anything because my image is already having all the details whatever we need. Okay, so add storage. So here the storage was given 8 GB, so 8 GB is created. If you give storage and the snapshot IDC, you can see here it is getting created 06D. And if you want to add new volume EBS and search for the snapshot ID, okay, let's go ahead and check the snapshot ID here. Wow, there are lots of snapshot ID, so we can search the snapshot ID. Just copy this. Okay, see, prod server apache 1.4. so if I select this one, what will happen? Similar EBS volume also created from this snapshot. Okay, I don't need this, let remove it. Let's go ahead, add tag. Security, select. In case of template, we don't have to do all these selections and everything because template will have everything added. But here what happened, we are going to create instances manually, only selecting our own images. Okay, own images. Now let's go ahead and preview, launch. Just wait for a few seconds, let it get ready. So we created instance from our own image. Okay, created instance from our own snapshot or our own image. So it's running now. Snapshot demo. Just go ahead, grab the IP address here and ping it. See, same production server, we got it back, right? We had taken the back of our snapshot from the production server, we deleted back the server, and then created image out of that and used the same snapshot. We used the same snapshot to create the server back again. Okay, so now you clearly understand what is the snapshot, how you will take the snapshot. Also, you can copy the snapshot to different region. Our snapshot is available in Mumbai region, right? If see snapshot, what is the snapshot? If we see it here, our snapshot is available in Mumbai region. If I go ahead, go to suppose Northern Virginia or go to Singapore. Let's see. I changed the region and let's see whether we have the snapshot available or not. Just is taking some time to load the page. See what it says, we don't have a snapshot ready. Suppose if you want to add, okay, this production server is in Mumbai region, okay, is in Mumbai region, and I want that server to move to sorry, if I want this server to move to from Mumbai region to Singapore region, this is it. This will be an interview questions also. How you will do that? How you will move your server from Mumbai region to Singapore region? I'll show you now. This is running in Mumbai region, right? Now let's go ahead, go to the snapshot which is created in Mumbai region, right? Go to the snapshot, select it. Now go and copy snapshot. Copy snapshot. Okay, copy snapshot. Destination region. It is asking for destination region, and you should remember the region code now. You should remember the region code. For Singapore, it is AP Southeast 1, AP Southeast 1, that is the Singapore region. If you are not sure, just click on here, you can find AP Southeast Singapore, AP Southeast 1. Okay, now find destination region. Now copy the snapshot. Now it will be charged double to you. Okay, now one is in Singapore, one is in Mumbai, so you have to pay more for that. Be careful, delete immediately after the class. Okay, so after the practice, whatever do your practice. Now my snapshot is copied to Singapore region. Now if I go ahead to the Singapore region,
Ranjit, one quick question.
Yeah.
So when we copy snapshot from one region to another region,
yeah,
does any encryption required while copying the snapshot?
yes, we have to use, normally in production, normally in your organization you do encryptions. As I don't have any encryptions key available with me, I did not select the encryption method. Okay, normally even AWS provides default KMS encryption, so don't worry, it will automatically encrypted and it will go. I did not select the encryptions method because it will take some time and it will ask me lots of encryptions to add there, as I don't have anything. Okay, so it should be, you should always encrypt it. Okay, you should always encrypt it. That's good
So when we
questions. Yeah,
when we encrypt, I think we need to share the key the public key along with the snapshot, right, to the other account or other region, right? So that the snapshot can be accessed and attached to a
Okay.
EC2 Bootstrap. I am not sure this. I heard somewhere, so that's why
Yeah, no,
I
no, no.
wanted to.
That's really actually whenever you encrypt it, right? You use any some sort of algorithm, right? Some sort of algorithm, and that algorithm will have key. Don't need any public key or any certificate to do that, but you need the algorithm key to share. That need to be encrypted
Okay.
using that, right? And then you can decrypt that one at the destination side and use it. But here, what
Okay.
happens? I
So
did not. Yeah.
now I was asking how this decryption will happen. Both the regions will have the same KMS key. Whether the KMS key is a global setting in AWS or it's a
It
region setting.
it will be a global
You need
setting.
to
It will be a global
global
setting,
setting.
account specific. It will be account specific. Suppose in my account with this account ID, okay, with this account ID, whatever the keys available, we can use it. Okay, you
You
can
can
use it.
all the
Yeah, all the accounts, all the servers, anywhere if you want, you can use it. Okay, yeah. Now we can see our snapshot is copied to Singapore region, and the snapshot status is still pending. Just wait for that, let it complete. Once the snapshot is complete, we can create a server on Singapore itself, on Singapore region. Okay, we can create a server in the Singapore region. Just wait. Okay, the snapshot is completed. Now let me go ahead and move the server from Mumbai to Singapore, or create another server in the Singapore region. Okay, so let's go ahead, create image from the snapshot quickly. Prod Apache server. I can give Singapore. Okay, the rest of the things let it be by default. I'm not changing. Quickly I'm showing it, but let's change the size to 12. Create image. Okay, so our image is created out of the snapshot ID. This snapshot has a different ID, okay, than the Mumbai ID. This snapshot is a different ID than the Mumbai ID, right? So if I go AMI here, in Singapore region also will have one AMI available. Now I created one AMI out of the snapshot. See, this, the AMI name is prod Apache server Singapore. Now let me go ahead and launch instance from this image. I can directly click here, launch instance from image, or else I can go ahead, okay, to the instance and launch instance here. I don't have any instance in Singapore region, that's why it says clear, nothing is there. Okay, if I go ahead here, let's, I'll use for old experience. New one is quite confusing, not confusing, I don't like this one. Let opt out for the old experience. Okay, this is good. Now what you do, select my AMI. See, I have this AMI Singapore, prod Apache server Singapore is available. Select it, configurations, let everything be there. Okay, let everything be there. Add, only one thing we can change if you want. If you want to see whether this server is in Singapore or not, we can add in the user data, we can add the, we can change installations is there, but we'll change our index deployment, will change in a different code in the Singapore. In Singapore we'll add, suppose we'll little modify this. Okay, we'll little modify this, just give informations like this is Singapore server. I did not do anything. The server will be started as per the image because everything in the image, but only I am adding some changing the index.html file. That's all. Nothing else I am changing. Now you can see the default is taking 12. In our image creation, I had changed the storage to 12, so that's why it is taking default 12. Okay, add tag. Use key. See here also key is region specific, right? I don't have any key available, so I can create a new key here. Okay, Apache. So let's go ahead and add HTTP row to, so that 6, I don't need this PV6 launch. So we create our own image. Okay, we used our own image to launch the instances. So here we don't have any key in the Singapore region. Let's go ahead and create new key, give a new key name. Okay, launch instance. So our instance is launched now. Let's see.
While Syntax is launching, I have one more question on the AMI copy.
Yeah, sure.
So let's suppose I have different accounts for the dev, QA, stage, and production. I want to copy the same AMI from dev account to QA and so on and so forth. So cross account copy, is it possible, or we still need to create the AMI in each of those accounts?
Yes, we can copy to the cross account. Let me show you. Okay, let it be running. So if I go to AMI, okay, go to action, copy AMI. Okay, same thing, whatever way how we did instance copy, right? Same thing also we can create the AMI and copy the AMI to different region, but not account specific. Different. Your question is to different account, right? You cannot copy to different account. So what we can do here, we can take this AMI ID and put it in a different storage. Okay, the same is now the AMI copy, right? One second, we'll have one options where we can copy the entire things and put it in our different account. Okay, one crypt is volume. Okay, this encryption is here. We are not going to use this encryption, so leave it. Singapore, Asia Pacific. We can, okay, by using this we can copy AMI. But Sunil, your question is how to copy this to different
account,
different AWS account, right? Different AWS account, I think, is not giving any options to copy here.
Okay.
It's not giving any copy, but there should be one options will be there, like
or we need to copy it to Amazon Marketplace, and then from there any other account how that will be able to. I'm just thinking ways, because this is happening in our organization.
No, you should have do that, because that is what in organizations it is worked, right? You have to copy that. Otherwise, see, same account, because we'll have multiple accounts, right? We'll have different dev account, we'll have test account and all. Okay, so what we'll do once here itself, I think we'll have. Okay, see here itself. Okay, in the encryption, that's why I did not select any encryptions. You have to select this encrypted method, encrypt, because that is the basic things, because same AMI should be used for different accounts in the real life world. Okay, so you have to select the account ID here. So because it is having only AWS EBS, it does not have the KMS key details, because this key details is not having to modify and copy the account ID and all. Okay, so you have to choose the account ID and then copy AMI. It will be copied. Okay, definitely that should be there, because but if that is not there, then the main point of having this will be no use, right? It should be there, because
Yeah,
multiple IDs. Yeah.
I just wanted to figure out how it is happening. Maybe because the organizations have their own keys, and
Yes.
selecting that keys was the number of accounts associated with that key, and then we can select the account
Exactly.
ID.
That's why the KMS key, as I told, I don't have any key available, so I don't select, because this EBS key is part of the AWS key, so it does not having anything account setup, so I cannot create any KMS encryptions on this account, so I'm not using. So default it is giving default AWS EBS and doesn't having more details. If you have your own keys, and those keys will have your account ID, KMS ID, and all these informations, and you can easily copy that one, and that will be copied to the particular region of this account ID.
The problem is that maybe, I don't know, other organizations, in my organization, they have restricted the access to the management console of it. So everything you have to do is you have to do from Terraform, not from
Exactly.
management console.
Okay.
So we don't know where are the keys, where it is, we don't have any visibility.
Uh-huh.
That's why I just wanted to check.
But how you will get the keys then? You have to request the administrator to get the key.
Yeah, a separate team they are managing, and there is some S3 bucket there for the, some security, and that is out of our scope, so
Acha, acha.
not sure how they are managing it. Yeah, that's sort of because we don't see all these things, how they copy and everything, so just
See,
want to
see,
be very
this is okay. This is very simple. Okay, so suppose I created this image. Okay, and I selected this KMSI. So my account, I created this under my account, and I have these key informations with me. Whenever I share this image with your account, I should give the key to you also. Otherwise, you
right.
cannot decrypt it. So the key
Right.
will have with the account owner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a separate SOC team who manages it.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So this is clear, guys, how we can do the cross region. Either you can directly copy the snapshot to a different region, or copy the entire AMI to different region and create the server out of that, So okay, so our EC2 new EC2 Singapore region would have created now. Let me go ahead and see this one, whether it is having, it's working or not. That's a good discussions today happened, guys. So guys, whoever don't know understand, this is in Singapore region. Okay, I have two servers now running with T2 micro and all. It's okay. Let me run this and check. See, this is Singapore server, but the code, okay, why it did not give the Singapore, guys? I had updated the user data while creating the Singapore server, but it did not reflect here. Why? If you remember, or if you have seen carefully what I have written in the user data section, you can understand clearly. I missed to give the cell interpreter there. The bus, right, has not bin bus was not given. That's why the shell script did not work and it did not modify. So then where it got it? It got it as part the image, as part of the image. Both the Mumbai and Singapore server are same now, right? Now better to delete all those. Okay, do you have any doubt or anything, guys, to discuss, or any doubt? See, lots of questions Sunil and Sanjay asked. Guys, I understand you will not have doubts, or you will not understand, because those guys are already working. So that's why they are having lots of things in their mind, and they're discussing with us. So if you have any guys, other guys, if you have any doubt, is you can explain. You can ask it now, so that either Sunil or Sanjay can explain more also on that. Okay, so everyone will get better ideas on what is happening. Okay, so let me terminate these things. I don't need it. So better, see, once you do, again you have to do practice today, guys. So I deleted the instances. Also, what you have to do, you have to delete the snapshot, because that if you don't delete, you have to pay for that. Okay, the snapshot, because the snapshot using the volume ID, and the volume is having the same amount of storage and everything, right? So to delete the snapshot, first you have to deregister the image. You have to first deregister the AMI. So deregister the AMI. So once the AMI is deregistered, then you can able to delete the snapshot, or else you cannot delete the snapshot. It will not allow you to delete the snapshot if there is any image created out of that. Okay, now I can delete the snapshot. Now in the Singapore region is clear. Okay, now let me go ahead and change the region and clear out everything from the Mumbai. So go ahead. Okay, so I'll clear it like that. So if you have doubt anything, we can discuss now, or else what we covered today, we covered this things. Okay, so AMI creations and everything we covered today, and in our next classes, okay, so what we'll do, we'll cover auto scaling, also we'll cover load balancing, and we'll see these are the big topics and very important topics to understand in the cloud platform, in the AWS. Okay, both auto scaling and load balancing. This is very important topics, guys. Don't miss tomorrow's classes. We'll have lots of discussion and lots of use cases to do. Today's use cases will do there also. Lots of other use cases we'll see. Okay, don't miss tomorrow classes. We'll go with auto scaling and load balancing. Okay, so we can wind up this call today.